Hey guys, it's me. I'm back, Blaze Wolf. I'm doing another video. Now, I've been away for a bit. I work a lot, but lately I've been having time to playtest. And me and my buddy actually loves this deck. It's the Tellarknights. We played it in 2014, and with the new Banlist, like Klee's gang, some of their support back and stuff like that, we decided to bring back the nostalgia. So we were playtesting, he played it, he topped, I played it, I topped, so it was pretty cool. And so, yeah, like I said, it's my favorite deck. I playtest this a lot. This is the best of our ability to build this deck. It runs smoothly, it almost used to run, it runs as fast as it used to run with 3 rotas. So, it's still a slow deck, but it's faster now, alright? And I'll tell you why when we get to the extra deck. So, let's start off with the deck profile. We're doing 3 Denebs. Now, if you don't know what Deneb is, because this is a pretty old card, just for new players, this is a Stratos. So, when this card is summoned in any way, you can add 1 Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand, except for Deneb, and you can only use Deneb's effect once per turn. So whenever this is summoned from like special summoned, normal summoned, you get to add a Tellarknight monster. So that's pretty cool. And they can't add themselves, and the once per turn goes for all the Tellarknights that I play. So then I play as well 3 Altair. Altair is easily the best card in your deck. So with Altair, when this card is summoned, you get to special summon 1 Tellarknight monster that isn't Altair from your graveyard, right? In defense position, and no other Tellarknights can attack. Well, no other monster besides the Tellarknight monsters can attack that turn, which is not that bad because you're going to go into the Tellarknight anyway. But he can't special himself. But him and the other card that I'm going to show you in a bit are easily more bigger combo plays. Right? So he's easily the best one. Deneb's alright. It is the search. But this can get you, well, you can normal summon Altair, special Deneb. There's so many combos that you can do with that. Then I play 3 Unukalai. So he is when he's normal, like when he's summoned, you get to send 1 Tellarknight monster from your deck to a grave, right? Actually, card, so you can do spells and stuff like that. But mainly, it's to send Deneb and stuff like that for search. So he can't send himself, but he can send everything else. All right. Then finally, for the last 2 monsters, you play 2 Vega. So this is the other card that I was talking about that leads to combo plays. So pretty much, you can normal summon Vega from hand. Well, this is if this card's summoned, you can special summon 1 Tellarknight from your hand, except for Vega. So what you can do is normal summon Vega, special Altair with special Deneb in grave, right? Or activate Altair to special summon Vega in grave, to special summon Unukai in hand, or whatever that you have. And just the plays can keep on going, and it's always recurring itself. So that's it for monsters. You run 11 monsters, alright? This deck hasn't really changed over the years. Like, the ratio, I've always played this ratio. I love this ratio, and it's always going to stay the same. I used to play Maxi, but obviously no more Maxi. So let's go on for the spells. So for the spells, this one's a cool one. 2 Tellarknight Skybridge. So this is their quick play card. So what happens is, if let's say I go, so its effect allows you to switch for another Tellarknight, right, from your deck. So if I special summon Nuklai, right, activate its effect, that will pitch Deneb, okay? So there, Deneb's in grave, alright? I activate Skybridge, switching that out. Oops, hold on a second. Switching that out with Altair. Then Altair's effect will then special Deneb. Okay? Then Deneb will add. So out of 2 cards, you've already set up an Exceed or a Link monster. Right? Now, the only thing is, you can't special summon anything else besides the Tellarknight monsters after activating this. Which is okay. It's completely okay. Also, that can technically be sent by Uniclai, but I don't recommend doing that. And like I said, is a quick play card. So it's really good. So then, another card to search, because I consider that a search anyway, kind of. Reinforcements of the Army. It's a warrior deck. Gotta play it. Simple as that. Then for the draw power, there we go. 2 Pile Desires, and 1 Upstart. Now, during the whole thing, we're talking about the draw power. I feel like, and this is really bad, kind of, I feel like Desires in this deck now is a lot better. Because you need those special summon plays to go off and compete with the with the meta. Because right now decks are stupid fast, and with that, card demise was good for just being just preparing and getting all your traps and stuff like that. But you couldn't special summon. You could not go off. It was normal summon Neb, card Desires, get 3 traps, set the 3 traps. That is it. So it's not that good. With Desires, you play through a majority of everything. Anyway, that's why you do 2. And you don't really see it affecting you. If you get rid of an Altair, that's fine, you still have 2 more. If you get rid of a Neb, you still have 2 more. Uniclai, you still have 2 more, right? Even with Vega, you can still play Vega at 1. So, like, none of it is actually, like, you don't need, like, it's not a bad thing to banish it. Sure, you can't get it back, but oh well. Then finally, because of the ban list, you get to play 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Soul Charge. They kind of do the same thing. I do like Monster Reborn a little bit better because you don't have to pay cost. But it's really good, especially if you want to go off and set a board in turn 1, Monster Reborn or Soul Charge. Alright? Then finally, for board wipes, Regeki. Gotta. Now, time for traps. So, traps. Now, this is going to be a big lineup, and this is kind of self-explanatory for the majority of it. Is I play 3 Satella Alpha Nova. This is pretty much your Judgment. It's our free Judgment that allows you to draw. So what happens is, so whenever a spell and trap or monster effect is activated, you can send 1 face-up Tellarknight monster. They all sell Tellarknights because they're Tellarknight, Stellar, and Strange. But Tellarknight monsters you control to the grave. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then draw. So no matter what, you can negate it. If it's engraved and stuff like that, you can still negate it, but you don't draw. But if it destroys, so let's say it's a hand effect or anything like that, if you destroy it, sends the grave, you draw. So it's our Judgment. Then going on to it, we play the full new Solemn Brigade. So 3 strikes. Actually, I'm just going to load these down a bit. 3 strikes, a Judgment, and a Warning. Enough said. Counter traps. Just leave it at that. Now, here comes the cool part. I play 3 Call of Haunted and 3 Oasis of the Dragon Souls. So they pretty much do the same thing where they special from your graveyard. Oasis does put them in defense and make them worms. Doesn't really matter too much. But with this, at the end phase of your opponent is the most important. Because what you do pretty much is at the end phase, flip Oasis or Call, whatever you have. Do that Vega play, do that Altair play, set up a board on their turn. Then you draw on your turn, standby phase main, you go off again. So you already have an established board that is really hard to get rid of. Alright, so there's that. Then I play, which is kind of cool, 3 Fiendish Chains. Now, the only reason why, and this is kind of funny, I don't play Fogblade instead of Fiendish Chains because I have ultis. But besides that, they kind of do the same, where they negate the attack, they negate the effect. The only thing is Fogblade prevents them targeting. But normal time, you don't really need that effect. So I go with Fiendish Chains. And as well, because all 3 of these are continuous traps, so like Call the Haunted Oasis and Phoenix Chain. There's a monster. I can bring them back and tell you when I get there. Alright. Then I play, finally, 3 anti-spells. As you see, I don't play a lot of spells. This does not bother me. It does bother all their decks. So simple as that. Alright, now let's go to the extra deck, because I'm running out of time. Alright, so extra deck. 3 Tellarknight Trigger. This is technically your boss monster. This is what you're going to go into majority of the time. So when this card hits the field, it bounces all cards except for him to your hand. So all these counter traps, well, not all these counter traps, but all of these continuous traps that I play, I get to bounce back and I get to replay it. Ain't that pretty cool? As well as I can send one card, well, I can detach one and send one card my opponent controls to the grave and go off from there. Simple as that, right? Then, also when this is destroyed, well, when it's sent to grave, when it's sent to grave, I get to special summon one Tellarknight monster from graveyard, right? As long as it has materials. So if you, let's say, Alpha Nova this, send this off of Alpha Nova, you can then draw a card and special summon and establish a board yet again. So it's really good. Then 1 Deltros. Deltros is kind of like Trivia in a way. You need 3 materials and stuff like that. His effect is so you can't chain effects to Tellarknight monsters summoned. So that's pretty cool. And as well, you detach 1 destroy 1 card on the field. And as well, if he has material and sent to the grave, you get to special summon the Tellarknight from your deck. So kind of a similar thing. Still really good, and still an Alpha Nova target. Then 2 Dark Tellarknight Plutonimus. He is pretty much a 2 material trigger. So he just takes 2 Tellarknight monsters. Then you can detach 1, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and overlay a Tellarknight monster in your extra deck on top of it. So that's a 2 card trigger, 2 Deltros. That's pretty much all you use him for. His second effect's kind of pointless. But yeah. Then finally, this is for any dark deck that you face. There's always going to be one. Or Light Storms. Is the Tellarknight Constellar Diamond. So you can only special summon him by overlaying on top of a Tellarknight. Well, that's not the only way, but in this deck it is. Overlaying him on top. And that will then... You can't send cards from your deck to the grave. And as well, if cards are added from grave to the hand, they're banished instead. So that's pretty cool. Then when a dark effect is activated, you can detach 1, negate the effect, and destroy it. So it's really good against like BA and stuff like that. And as well, so on main phase, let's say you set up like a dark, like if you set up a board and you know you're facing like BA or something, you can go into main phase 2 and just pop them on. They can't do anything. Alright? So then, for the rest of the Xyz, I play the Utopia package. So Utopia and Utopia Lightning. 1 Babushka for endgame. 1 Tornado Dragon, his back row. 1 Castel, same thing, back row and stuff. 1 Bujinte. Because if you have a bad hand, if you can go into him, it just recurrence. Abyss Dweller, because Abyss Dweller. And Isolde. Isolde is so good in this deck. You don't use her second effect with the actual equip spells. So what her effect is, like the one that you really want to use her for, is if she's link summoned, you get to add 1 warrior type monster from your hand, well, from your deck to your hand. But you can't normal summon or special summon, and its effects are negated for that turn. So technically, what you can do, right? Let me read this again with that name. So what happened is, what you can actually do, you can actually go, let's say you get your Vega play, alright? Vega, then Deneb. Deneb will search, right? Deneb will search, you can search up any other Tellarknight. Then you can use Vega and Deneb, link into Isolde, right? To add another card. So that's usually turn 1. You've already added 2 cards and you have a board that you want. Alright? Then as well, she's a link too, so if it's in later game, you can do other crazy combos, so she's really good. Alright? So, this is my Tellarknight deck profile. As you can't tell, I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. I normally used to run Mirror Force, but in this format, it is just kind of slow and clunky. But at the moment, I wouldn't change anything in this deck. So, I'm going to sign out now. Don't forget you can like, subscribe, and comment. And let me know if you want any other deck profiles, alright? See ya.